Alright, hello everyone, welcome to another stream, and today we have the season finale of season 2 in the Tom Hanks racing series, the GT race cars. This has been a fun season, definitely a very different challenge from last season. Hello, I'm KR, how are you doing? Definitely a very different challenge from last season, and a very different kind of performance level, and I gotta say I've enjoyed it. Hello Grid Ghost, how are you doing? I have enjoyed it quite a bit, and the cars were honestly great. I mean, obviously some better than others, but overall I've had a good time with all of the cars, and it's been fun. That's, I think, the most important part, and I hope you had fun too watching this and building the cars. Hey Adderall. So, as announced, I have a little bit of a surprise today. So the surprise I have for you today is that once I'm done with my warm-up runs, I will also run the disqualified cars around the track. You can see them, all the ones marked with DQ at the start. Those will obviously not be evaluated in terms of their times won't count, but I will still run them and see how they stack up. So Spa is my favorite track anyway, and yeah, we will see how the disqualified cars would compare. First one, I'll blab a little bit already on the brakes. So, hang on, can anybody let me know? YouTube is saying the current bit rate is supposedly 0 and far too low, but the preview of the stream that I see looks pretty darn smooth. Oh, it's the message is gone now. Car is too loud. Okay. All right. I think the car versus mic balance should be better now. For some reason I have to adjust that like every time, even though I'm using the same mic and I didn't change the BeamNG settings, but it, you know, Beam updates might change some things, Windows updates might change some things. I don't have any experiences with the G920, unfortunately. A bit wide there. A bit wide there as well, late on the brakes. Very sort of first lap of the day time there at a 2:28. Okay, that felt good. A little bit of sideways action there on the way out. Okay. Car a little bit more nervous than I'm used to it being. Even here in the higher speeds, I guess maybe the front downforce is just a little bit too high relative to the rear downforce. Much better braking point this time. And that'll be a 225.8 for my car. Hey Teacup, how are you doing? By the way, and this is the issue that I expressed last week after rolling back to the old driver. Today I got a warning from Streamlabs that they detected an old outdated graphics driver and that the hardware encoder may no longer work properly due to the outdated graphics driver. So this is where the issue may start, even though this version has been running flawlessly for me before, and every time I update it I've had issues streaming, as you may have experienced over the course of the season. And so that's why last time I submitted the bug report to AMD, so hopefully they fix that shit soon. But anyway, so we will start with the disqualified cars. Now this is the Coq Noir M9 1200 by Ananas. And by the way, out of all the disqualified cars, by the way, let's take a look around it first. Out of all the with all of the disqualified cars, most of them broke the power to weight rule. So the ones that did, I either slightly retuned the engine or the weight of the car to make it in line with the other cars. And so that's just to have a bit of a fair comparison here. Whoa, okay. Front engine, but like apparently no grip here. Lots of front end grip. but can't put the power down, it seems. Okay, I'm gonna have to get used to this one. Also seems that the brake balance could use a little bit of work too, because we locked up. Or does it not have ABS? Maybe? Yeah, it doesn't have ABS. I think ABS was even required, wasn't it? Alright, I'll have to do a manual ABSing then in that case. Which I'm not good at, by the way. On the straights, this thing is actually pretty quick. But yeah, lack of ABS and also lack of rear grip is definitely an issue here. I'll still try to complete a relatively clean lap, which, if anything, is going to be the next lap. Hey Tess, how's it going? I see Teacup was already on the spreadsheet, so but thanks for it anyway. If you could keep an eye out, you know, just in case, you know, just in case some sort of error happens, or you know, a typo happens or anything like that, that you can also be there and correct things. Yeah, braking for this last chicane is gonna be an issue, and also getting out of it. Like once this car is once it's kind of rolling, and it's in its stride, it's actually not that bad, but it has severe issues with the long braking zones due to the lack of ABS, and also coming out of tight corners, there is just no grip on the rear, and so those are the two major issues with it. So let's brake a little bit early here. Seemed good. A little bit of understeer there, we're good though. A little bit late on the brakes there. Lots of sideways action. easy through there. The car almost wanted to drift at like 200 kilometers an hour. Went a bit too hard there on the brakes. Locked them up. What, you're trapped? No matter how hard I try to progressively feed in the throttle, it's just gonna slide. But we improved on the first time anyway, 229.7. Leaving the stream. Oh yeah. Okay, that was the Coq Noir M9 1200. Lack of ABS and also an issue in the lower speed corners. Apart from that, actually not that bad. We'll save this one for last. Like amongst the disqualified cars. Let's move on with the Swift Racer by Spark Vento. I think I hear a V12 in this one. Yeah, I don't know what that white fixture there is either. I don't remember it having that in automation, so it's probably an export bug. I don't remember it having like any particular fixture on the roof in automation. So this one is also fast in a straight line. A little bit, you know, a little bit suspect around corners sometimes, and again, no ABS apparently. Although the lack of ABS is much less noticeable with this one than with the previous car we had. And this also puts down power much better. Well, that was just me being late on the brakes. Let me quickly check the BeamNG settings, because you can actually that's what I've always had it at. I've always had it at this setting, realistic ABS only, which means if the car has ABS, it's gonna be active, and if the car doesn't, then it's off. If you set it to ABS always off, then even if your car in automation has ABS, then here it doesn't. So the setting is correct. A little bit sloppy in that corner. That would be an invalid lap time. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything about this car's looks, and I won't, but certainly not the most effort ever going into a car. The handling, I don't have too many complaints about it, other than the fact it's just, I mean, it is sort of grippy. It just doesn't turn in as hard as some of the other cars. Again, lack of ABS is hurting it. Puts down power actually pretty well. Easy enough to drive. It's no world beater, but it is okay for a starting point, I guess. Someone more experienced could definitely turn this into a formidable car with the like foundation that this car has, especially the engine. I like the engine. It feels strong all the way throughout the rev band. But yeah, 2:34.194 is its best time. Let's just move on to the next one. The next one is the Viaggio Sprezzatura Competizione by, well, I guess Nocturne he goes by these days, previously known as Costco. And this one is like the opposite in terms of aesthetics. The other car probably had, 5 or 6 fixtures in total. This, I mean, just look at it. It's completely like it's completely equipped with a full interior and everything. Nice livery, a really nice livery actually. Looks like a proper, racing car from that, in that sense. Front end, especially due to this grille and those sort of pointy headlights, looks like a Ferrari from a few generations back, like a 599 or something, or maybe a 612. Rear end looks a whole bit Jaguar-ish, Jaguar F-Type-ish, which is not a bad thing at all. But yeah, let's see how this performs. Yeah. Very short gearing on this car. Not a whole lot of downforce, it seems. Okay, here we do have ABS, I was just late on the brakes. Likes to break loose even in the higher speeds, apparently. Quick on the straights. I have to say that much. Probably due to the low downforce. By the way, everyone, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to hit the like button. Trying to get to 10 likes today, which would be more than I've had in a long time on the stream, actually. But we're on the season 2 finale here. If not today, then when, right? A little bit of understeer there. Gotta approach that corner a little bit differently next lap. I want to get a somewhat cleaner lap than this next lap to get a feel for how fast this really is. But I think it has potential. Not to be one of the top cars necessarily, but maybe it would have come sort of mid-pack out of the cars we've got. First it was early on the brakes, then I was like, I kind of stopped braking and then continued it, and then by that point I was late. Wow, it just cannot take Eau Rouge properly at any sort of speed. I would have had to slow way down in order to go around there. Yep, not enough front downforce. It's a shame really, because other than that I actually like the way this car drives. I don't like the way it drives as much as I like the way it looks, but it's still a decent car to drive. Not too bad when it comes to managing the power at the end of the corner, or on the corner exit, I should say. Easy to drive, close gear ratios. And this lap is actually going to be slower than the last one. Barely, but yeah. Yeah, 230.336 for the Viaggio Sprezzatura. Neither lap was really that good, to be honest with you. And I think it could have probably beat the Coq Noir M9 with a better lap, but it is what it is. We also have the WMC Arterial RGT by Tall Trini Guy, and the reason that this weighs 1293 kg is because it makes 238.5 horsepower. Consistency is key, yeah, being consistently bad in my case, but yeah. So yeah, this also definitely has a little bit of, this also has some effort put into it. The hood scoop and everything, the bulge on the bonnet as well, the roof scoop, the aero, spoiler, looks decent. Has some side skirts as well, customly made. Pretty good. Again, front engine with a little bit of a loose back, but wow, the engine pulls. We've had a surprising amount of flat plane V8s amongst these disqualified cars. Just noticing. Like this one, the Viaggio, and I think also the Coq Noir all have a flat plane V8. Oh, the Swift Racer had a V12, of course. Saved it. And almost got in trouble again, and now I spoke too soon when I said saved it. Yep, I jinxed it. But yeah, on the straights, this thing is really quick. And even there, through Eau Rouge, that was pretty good. Out of the disqualified cars so far, this is definitely the most promising one. Although we haven't gotten to the Pegas yet by I'm Chiara, and that's still coming after this one. Actually, the split time is not as fast as I was expecting it to be. Maybe I'm just not pushing it hard enough yet. And maybe I could just go a little bit faster in most places. I mean, that applies no matter what car, because I'm not the best driver out there, but even within my abilities, maybe I could push a little bit harder and see what this thing's really got. Late on the brakes there. Makes a great noise, this car. Right on the edge there of the curb, and then lost grip for a second. Maybe it is just the fact that this is almost 100 kg heavier than all the other cars, because it has, you know, 38 more horsepower than most cars. Maybe it is just the weight that's kind of making it perform that much worse on the braking, and that much and that little bit slower around the corners. Maybe that's just what it is. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have any complaints about the way this car drives. It's just, you know, not quite as fast as some of the others. Surprisingly, this also falls behind the Coq Noir. I would have thought for sure this was faster. But anyway, maybe it's just me as well. What was the time here? If I go here, that was at 2:30.376. I guess, right? Pretty sure this was it. Yeah, 2:30.376 for the WMC. Can you put that in the sheet? That was the second lap, yeah. But this one... Actually, no, the second lap was this one. Because here it counts all of the flying laps that you've done. When you go to the infinity symbol, it counts all of the individual lap times. so I can go back and check. Found that out recently, by the way. So if you do like a 2-lap session, it gives you the total time, and if you go back to infinity, it gives you the individual lap times. So 230.376 was the best one with this one. Anyway, let's get to the last of the disqualified cars, the Pegas Ultima GT3. The one that I've definitely been waiting for getting a chance to drive. This looks a little bit different here. Normally it should be white, shouldn't it? But anyway, looks sort of. You know what this reminds me of? The front of this reminds me of the original concept for the Mark V Supra. You know, the one that they presented in the design study, which looks different from what the actual production car ended up looking like, but this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. The livery is very nice, well done. It's got a full interior with one seat, although even though technically in automation it has 2 seats, but you know, who cares. I guess some fixtures didn't load there on the rear quarter panels. That's okay. Let's get to driving it. Boxer 6. The front end is very pointy. And the rear likes to step out, I've noticed that already. So we gotta be precise with this one. Which is not my strong suit, as you may have already noticed. Very eager front end. Whoa! But had I not gone over the curbs, I could have taken the En Rouge flat out, I'm pretty sure. Which is the first car I can say that about. Definitely isn't a lawnmower. Unless we're talking about the Sticks Honda Civic Type R powered lawnmower. Then we're talking, you know. Yeah, flat through the En Rouge. The first car that we can say that about, but of course that comes at a cost here on the long straight, because this has so much downforce that it barely touches 260, although we could have braked way later there. Man, this car is so grippy, so quick on its feet. I'm gonna take some time to readjust just to how nimble this thing is. This has more aggressive and more sort of, well, agility than Kenshiro's car, in my opinion, and that's saying something, because that car is just driving like it's on rails. So with all other cars, I've sort of been on the like 150, 151-ish kind of split time there. This was 146. So easy flat through there. It's comical, the amount of grip this thing has. And brake like here. And we still went round just fine. You can brake so late in this just to the crazy amount of downforce. Man, this thing's fast. I don't know if it's gonna compete with Kenshiro's car. We'll see about that later, but I'm pretty sure this can give maybe Teacup's car a run for its money. Let's see if we're flat through here as well. Yeah, easily. At 240. Just a little bit late on the brakes there. And that'll be a 223.8. Easily demolishing everything that went before it. So good through there. Just looked over at chat for a second there. That's a lot more downforce here. You know, the next salary is around the corner and I've got a little bit saved up, so I might make myself a little Christmas present and then get a wheel before the next season and get some practice in as well before the actual races start for the next season. Because one thing I can already say about the next season is it'll be using manual transmissions. I mean, I drive a manual transmission in real life, so obviously I know how to shift, but I have never, well, in the real world, I have never like tried to like rev match on a downshift or whatever, so I'm not used to that. That'll be a 223.359. Good lord, this thing's fast. Whew, yeah. On these 2 laps, this was 7 seconds quicker than my car. So that it already says quite a lot, doesn't it? Anyway, now let's get into the actual competitors. Starting with the car that's in last place at the moment in overall, and that's the Durandal Cassowary. With its quad turbocharged V12, it's probably the fastest car here on the straights, but that's also due to the lack of downforce that it has, which costs it around the medium to higher speed corners. And definitely this is the worst performer in terms of braking here. So we will have to brake early for this one. Like that. And it's brake like here. Okay, that was a little bit early even for this car, but I just don't trust the brakes in this, you know. I do trust the way it puts power down, but because it actually does fairly well at that. But yeah, if you want to make this car better around the circuit, you definitely have to give it more downforce than what it has. As it stands, it could go through as a supercar for the road, for sure. Because it also has like a pretty ludicrous top speed, like far north of 200 miles an hour, but on a racetrack, you just need more downforce. Pretty good braking point there. About as close to the apex as you could get there. Holy shit. Let's try to get a clean second lap in as well. Maybe we can break the 230 barrier with this car, at least. I'm actually slower than last lap, okay. Not quite sure how I'm gonna make up 6 tenths in the last split, but... not quite on a 230, but a 230.185 will be the time for the armor, or for the Durandal, sorry. I'm so used to saying armor because, you know, the car is made by Armor Motors and usually he calls the car Armor Motors something, but this time he's using his other brand, Durandal. Anyway, another reminder, everyone, if you haven't clicked the like button yet, please do so. It helps me out, and it only takes a second, and you can do it while watching anyway. So, next is the FNS Macro GT500. I heard there should be a party tonight. Okay, so I don't know if you're referring to like real life or something, but I don't know what the context is there. But yeah, if you've got a party to go to, then, you know, enjoy. Glad to have you here. Someone bring lasagna and scotch. Oh, a little bit iffy there. A little bit bouncy there. This car has a lot of tendency to understeer on this track. It has felt just slightly understeery on every track, but I feel like that's a little bit more exaggerated here for some reason. Just, you know, different track, different grip level, I guess. May also explain why my car felt a little bit more oversteery than normal. This does clock in under 2:30, so let's try and get a cleaner lap this time around. And by that party I mean tonight's race finale. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can invite friends to our party here as well. You're more than welcome to do so. Oh, come on now. Running wide there, but keep it pinned. They have to bring Scotch though. I thought you've already prepared that, Tess. Obviously, I'm not drinking because I'm driving. That'll be a 2:29.049. Actually, got quite a few more time out of the car in the last split, but yeah, this will be 1 second faster than the Durandal. Okay. Next is the Aeon A3ZC Solpier by Noodle. And this has been really fun to drive. Right now it's herbal tea, too much last night. Fair enough. Yeah, it's cold. Indeed. Actually, what kind of temperatures were you guys getting this last week in Britain? We had like negative 12 degrees on Tuesday morning. I think that was just about the coldest we've had this week, or this winter in general. It got a little bit warmer since then, but still usually in the negatives throughout the day. -8, yeah. Ugh, pretty cold. Hello to the new viewer. Sorry, I don't have time to focus on reading a name for the time being. Cyanide snacks? Is that it? Hello K-Kids, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. A little bit iffy there with this car, but man, driving this is just fun because just look at it for one. The aero, the work on the diffuser, the spoiler, the lights, and then also the sound of that V8. This is the most sort of race car feeling that like out of any car in my opinion, just due to the like drama, you know, the spectacle. Yep, indeed. That was also my thoughts. A bit late on the brakes there. Back on track though. Try and get a clean last section with this as well. That'll be a solid time if we manage it. Just about got it slowed down still. I thought it was gonna overshoot that corner by a mile, but only was a little bit late. But it was late enough that I only improved by about a tenth of a second over the previous lap. So 228.172. Could have been quicker had I not messed up the last braking point, but it is what it is. Still almost a full second quicker than the FNS. Yeah, it would have been had I not messed up the last breaking point. Yeah, at least you're consistent. I think you're late on that joke, cyanide snacks. I'm KR said that earlier, to which I responded, yeah, I'm consistently bad. But anyway, next is the HFF Black Widow. I'm consistent at making mistakes, let's put it that way. Consistent at making at least one mistake every lap. How cool would it be if you could like export cars that you tuned in Forza Horizon 5 to BeamNG and then use them as your benchmark and try to beat them with one of your own cars that you built in automation? That would be awesome. This car has so much downforce, we're flat through the Eau Rouge as well, although not as fast as the Pegasus. Man, the brakes in this are nuts as well. I think this is gonna beat the Aeon once again. Assuming I drive it properly. Yeah, indeed, the M3 GTR would be awesome. Whoa! Okay, that was like a 240 km/h drift. Unintentional drift, may I add, but I guess that's why they called, that's why Admiral called this car the Black Widow. Because if I hadn't been quick enough there, you know what would have happened. Namely that. It was a 227.6 on its first flying lap anyway, though. So, so this would have already beaten the Aeon. Not nearly as fast through that Eau Rouge and Radio complex as we were on the previous lap, but yeah. So yeah, I guess the Black Widow found its victim on that Eau Rouge there. Let's try not to let that happen again. Almost did. so late on the brakes and still got around. That was actually faster than last lap. Somehow, this manages to put down nearly 8, or actually a little bit over 800 newton meters of torque to the rear wheels most of the time. And it's front engine, remember. Yeah, a lot of torque. This pretty much in true Adderall fashion, I guess. This engine makes the allowable horsepower, namely 500 horsepower or 500 feet, whatever it is in this case. It makes that for pretty much half of the entire rev range. So you think, okay, I'm gonna short shift a little bit for traction out of this corner, and so I'm only gonna go around at like 5,000 RPM. Nope, you're still gonna have 500 horsepower at the rear wheels, so still good luck putting that down. It's just so crazy. And that'll be a 226.5. 226 was it 523? A very impressive time, actually. Power curve flatter than my belly. Although this was certainly a very impressive effort indeed, I have a feeling that the Scarab THRS is going to be quite a bit faster still, because we've had this sort of thing in the previous races where, you know, there was like the bottom couple of cars, then there was usually a pretty considerable gap between them and then the Aeon and the HFF, which were usually fairly close, although here the HFF was quite a bit quicker. And then we had another gap between it and then the top three cars. That's usually how it was. But Spa is a unique track that can maybe produce different results here. Flat out through there as well. At 1.85 Gs apparently of cornering. Can't wait to see how much faster Ken's car is than yours. I don't know if it will be. I don't know if it's any faster than yours. Because that was pretty damn impressive. The Scarab here is also going strong though. Let's see if we can go flat out through here. We can indeed. That'll be a 224.5. I think that lap was actually fairly clean already. No major mistakes where I think I could make up a lot of time. A little bit sideways there. I mean, Kenshiro has won every single race this season so far, and to be honest with you, I'd be surprised if he didn't win this one as well. But Spa is a unique track for sure, and perhaps the very, very high downforce and therefore very low top speed is gonna hurt him. However, the same thing, if anything, would apply to this car and also to the Pegasus, so it's not like the Pegasus is gonna win. Oof, yeah, rip to that lap, I guess. It's not like the Pegasus is gonna make up major ground on the straights versus the Tempest Magmobile. Wow, there's only a couple of hundreds behind the previous lap. I'm surprised that didn't cost more time. But 224.513. Welcome back, Teacup. Did you bring scotch? Whew, did you catch some tail? Alright, let's see. What you got, Teacup? I mean, Yeah, okay, some of these cars have higher downforce than yours, but the braking performance on your car is amazing, and it's not like you're running a low downforce setup either. So let's put that to the test. Easy flat. Caught the curb with the left front tire. Yeah, this is gonna beat the Scarab, I think. I have a feeling. As it has done consistently this season. Let's try again. Alright. You can brake so late in this car. This is, I think, the first car where that split time, the 146 one, in this, was actually on par with IMKR's car. And there we go. The first car that of the official competitors to beat the Pegas. 222.8. Really fast. Like, this thing is just... This thing is just made for Spa, isn't it? gonna slide there, but we're gonna keep it together here. And that'll be, wow, that only 12 1/1000ths of a second apart on those lap times. That's the sort of consistency that I like, when both laps are good. However, I'm not consistent at that. So yeah, hey Jer, how are you doing? It has the minimum downforce necessary to do en rouge flat. That's how the downforce amount was determined. Okay, I see. All right, take a deep breath, and now let's get into the final car. The one that has won every single race thus far this season. It's not gonna have it easy against the placard though, this time around. Bring the big gun, indeed. The placard was nearly 1.7 seconds quicker than the Scarab. That's impressive. Like, considering how fast the Scarab was. Could have braked much later. Yep, these are cars that were made in automation. It should at least be a very easy lap, yeah. I'm imagining that as well. Although whether or not I can actually find this car's limits, because they're so high, is another question. Okay. Let's try and get a more decisive victory than that. Not if I do en rouge improperly though. Yeah, I think the chassis and everything is capable of more than what the engine is capable of, but also this is another case of where the car's limits are definitely beyond the drivers. There we go. A little bit more of a lead there to make a little bit to make the victory a little bit clearer. 222.108. So indeed, Kenjiro did win again. Although I have to say, Teacup's car was amazing this time around as well. Yeah, so I guess to make things fair in a race like that, you would have like myself driving the Tempus, and then Teacup, you driving your own car, and IMKR driving his car. Then Tom driving 3 cars at once. Whenever I grow another 2 sets of arms and hands, so I can hold 2 more controllers at the same time. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't yet, leave a like before you leave. Next season will not be announced next Saturday, but potentially the Saturday after that. I've got the basic rule set already figured out. Now it's time for some more testing, and it's also Christmas this upcoming season. So if you want to see me stream, I've got a couple of days off over Christmas, and we could do something there. Until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, and Happy Christmas.